Edward Carnby is an oft-forgotten hero of the survival horror genre. His games have fallen on hard times over the last decade, despite several attempts to revive the franchise. One of the reboots, which has since been completely written out of the series canon, was designed for consoles, but also received a fascinating port to the Game Boy Color. That game was Alone in the Dark: The New Nightmare. As a port of a fairly mediocre console title, it's saddled with most of the problems that plagued the game's design on the PlayStation and Dreamcast, in addition to the inherent limitations of appearing on a low-powered handheld device. The deck was most definitely stacked against it from the start. And yet, it's intriguing. Whereas the console version felt like a sloppy attempt to cash in on the survival horror mania of the era, the Game Boy Color version appears to be doing its utmost to keep up as best it can. This is most evident in the game's visuals, which are astoundingly good for the system. The backgrounds are detailed, the sprites are identifiable, and the use of colour evokes the desired gloomy mood without muddying the screen. When you see screenshots and gameplay at an appropriate resolution for a Game Boy Color title, you realise how much the developers managed to get out of the system. The rest of the game doesn't fare quite as well. The gameplay is a fair representation of the console title. The downside of that is that the console title was a bit rubbish. The sound is, well, it's exactly what you'd expect to hear from a Game Boy game trying to replicate spooky ambient music from more powerful hardware. But it is hard to deny the effort that clearly went into creating this portable version of the title. It just feels like there's more heart in this version than any of the console versions. Like I said earlier, this is definitely an intriguing game.